Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I have my wife here, Brittany. We thought it would be great to come together and upload a video because God has been doing some really big things in our lives, and especially in Brittany's life. And we wanted to just share with you guys what we've learned through it and what she's learned through it. So to jump right into it, if you guys don't know or follow Brittany, she is the one who created MissBeautymark, which has been this incredible platform. In brief terms, this platform where she uses it to encourage women and take women's stories and testimonies and turn it into a beautiful, what would you say, photography session?
Yeah, and just kind of taking like those painful things that we all don't really want to talk about and making them beautiful with a photograph, I guess.
Yeah, and I've seen God really use it in big ways for women across the board, but God's doing something new right now. And I wanted to just go through some questions that I put together and ask Brittany to share with you guys. So I guess to start off, what has been going on with MissBeautymark?
So much has been going on with MissBeautymark. Besides being like, we're almost 37 weeks pregnant.
About a month to go. So
currently, as we're filming this, I feel like God has used this pregnancy to really bring things to the surface. And so one of those things, I'm very vulnerable and transparent on my Instagram and all my social media platforms, and I really wouldn't have it any other way because that's actually how I cope, is I create. And so God's really been kind of showing me how I have taken MissBeautymark and kind of taken all of his, you know, the dreams and talents that he's given to all of us, but me in particular, I took them at stage 1 and I ran with them. And really, honestly, was kind of filling them for my own shame and my own pride. It's been a very painful process, but it's been so healing, and it's been needed because a lot of people don't know that like MissBeautymark has been this thing that's been very, very difficult for me.
Mm-hmm. I think this is going to be so helpful for a bunch of you because I know so many people out there struggle with and have gone through what Brittany has gone through. I don't know if you guys know, but Brittany has had multiple different jobs and things that she's tried to seek after, and there's nothing wrong with that because God has used everything that she's tried to pursue. But why don't you kind of just go into like what you've pursued, why you did it, and what you've learned through the different things you've went after.
Yeah, you're such a good host, by the way. When we were talking about this, and I was just, God's doing so much, like obviously in Justin's heart too, and I'm gonna get back to the question, but like it's just so cool to see kind of him walking this out with me, and so I'm very grateful that we could put it on this channel. What was your question? I have do you want me to just go down the list because it is like embarrassing?
Give us a list of all the things you've tried to do.
Okay, most of us don't really know our identity right out of high school, so I was like, I saw, you know, what people were praising and what people like showed value in, and so I was like, well shoot, you know, at the time I worked at a doctor's office and I have always loved photography, so I was like, well, I'm gonna pursue that full time because his YouTube was taking off and we were able to do that at the time. And so we tried, I was doing like everything, families, seniors, portraits, all of that, but we also did wedding photography together, which was quite the adventure. There's no more anymore, but and then from there I was kind of dabbling into all kinds of different things. I wanted to do like open up an Etsy shop, I wanted to do jewelry, I wanted to do we did t-shirts at one point, we did, gosh,
you went after modeling.
I did modeling.
She worked for 2 weeks in a gym.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I did.
She worked at a restaurant. Yeah.
I was like, I am not comfortable with sitting in my shame and pride of not having a job, like a normal job anymore, because we had stopped doing photography. My modeling was not going very well because the types of jobs that would pay for me were not anything that any type of woman would or should be doing. And so I just felt convicted, so I had to leave. And so I started like this gym job for like 2 weeks, and God made it very clear. He was like, this is not what I intend for you. You need to trust me, and you need, like, this is just the beginning of a very difficult process.
Yeah, that's crazy about, like, I guess all of our journeys is that God will use no matter where we go, even if it's out of a place of pride, where, because that's what I saw with Brittany, with all these things that she was trying to pursue. She was finding her identity in all of these things and trying to get to a place of success that was really worldly and wasn't coming from a place of like godly success. And so, yeah, just going back to how God has used all those things, like in those jobs, to like really show her what's important and show her like that your identity is never going to be found in this world, that this job is not going to fulfill you, that...
I even tried to be a vlogger.
Yeah?
I even tried to be a
all the
vlogger.
things. But wouldn't you say, like, what's been the biggest learning lesson you've found in all of these pursuits?
Is just to honestly, like, not rush the process, because I wouldn't have changed anything. You know what I mean? That, like, and looking back, those were like the roughest, like, it's been like 5 years since I like quit my doctor's job, and that was like the domino effect of the very difficult, I guess, just refining process. He's molding us, and I just feel like that was my refining process, and now I'm going to this like new clean slate of like also being a mom. And when I first found out we were pregnant, God had just kind of showed me everything, and being like, MissBeautymark, you know, like when people would ask me, hey, what is MissBeautymark? Or like, MissBeautymark is my favorite YouTuber. I'm like, I haven't even done YouTube in like literally 3 years. Like, I'm not a YouTuber. I don't know what MissBeautymark is. And I needed to get to a place where I was comfortable with where God had placed me, because my shame and my guilt were like, why don't you have a job? Why aren't you helping provide? Because like the world nowadays like glorifies women who can do everything and anything, and can work like 2 jobs while raising 3 kids. And I'm like, how are you doing that? And so I had to humble myself and really kind of like sit with those very icky and horrible feelings. So
how have you found your true identity through all this?
By like repeatedly going to the Word, which I never understood the power of prayer. I never like had that craving to actually read the Word at all. And finally, you know, I was just like very tired of trying to run MissBeautymark, to like whatever it was. I would wake up every single morning, you know, just so depressed, because I feel like, you know, God, what am I supposed to do with MissBeautymark? I feel like stuck. And he was like, it was because, again, like you took the provision, like my provision has not been on it, and I have been doing this on my own. And it was just because I was so uncomfortable. But like I found, what was your question? I like literally keep forgetting all of the questions.
No. A turning point for Brittany was one day she came to me after she had breakfast with her dad, and she was like, so my dad asked me about MissBeautymark because she'd been struggling with this for such a long time, and she had been dealing with it in the wrong way. But her dad was like, you know the story of Abraham, when God asked Abraham to take his son up on the mountain and sacrifice him? That was never the intention. But Abraham was obedient and said, God, I will follow after you. I will obey you no matter what you say, even if it's my own son. So he went up to the mountain. He was about to do it, but God provided a lamb, a different sacrifice. God never intended Abraham to kill his son in the first place. So her dad was like, Brittany, would you ever be willing to sacrifice MissBeautymark? Would you ever be, if God said, hey, would you kill MissBeautymark in a sense?
And when he asked me that, like in the coffee shop, I was just bawling, because again, like at that time I had identified. Yeah. And I always thought that I had to choose between my creativity, my creative Brittany, or my new growing mama Brittany. And that was what I was so scared of. And God's shown me that like we don't have to choose between the two. We just have to like trust him, because sometimes like for me, I probably wouldn't have gotten to this place if I wasn't so exhausted. And God like has literally allowed these difficult situations like mentally to happen, so that way I can be exhausted and that I can finally surrender to him. So
yeah, I think that's like one of the biggest lessons for all of us, is that we have to give everything back to God and put it at his feet, because he's the one who blesses it to us. And if we try and hold on to a piece of it, we're always going to end up disappointed, hurt. And that's what I've had to learn too with what God has blessed me with YouTube, is that God, you give me this, you're in control, you are the leader of all of this, and I want to be obedient. So I'm going to put this at your feet. Whatever you want me to do, I will do it.
Yeah.
And when Brittany was holding on so tightly to something, if God asks you to do something, you don't want to do it because you have a hand in it. It's kind of like that simple analogy with cookies. We bake cookies, and when you put it in the oven, if you keep your hand on it, you're going to get burned. The cookies aren't going to get properly cooked. We need to just put the cookies in the oven, take our hand off, and close the door and let God do the working.
And trust that, yeah, it's going to do its work.
And trust him in the process. So that's what Brittany, I've definitely seen so much growth in that area, where just giving up control and be like, you know what? You gave me this, you're in control, you're gonna lead me. So
it's just been like so good to really just have God kind of like water and show me what I'm actually supposed to do. Simple living, but very purposeful living. And my soul was like, this, Brittany, is what we need. This is what we want. We're tired of craving and striving for something that isn't filling us.
So that leads to the next question. Where is Miss Beauty Mark heading? What has God been showing you lately in regards to that?
Yeah, it's so awesome, because it's like normally when someone would like ask me this in the past, I would squirm and then I'd probably like want to go run and cry. But like I honestly have no idea. I'm excited to see how MissBeautymark warps and changes, especially as our family continues to grow. And I really do believe that I am slowly giving MissBeautymark like away. And as we give away things that we have handled so tightly and gripped so tightly, God is like, finally I can work this. And like, you know, his burden is light and his yoke is easy. And like, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
I think that's the beauty of faith, guys, is that you don't have to have it all together. You don't have to know everything. You just have to believe in the God who does know everything and knows everything about your life, and it knows everything you need. So even if you don't know exactly what to do, you have to be like, God, I'm going to be faithful with what you have given me right now. I'm going to take steps in what you've given me, and I trust that you're going to show me what's next. So I think that's what God's doing in not only her life, but my life and our lives together, is we're taking a new step into something new, which we'll be talking about soon.
Dun, dun, dun. Not just parenthood.
Yeah, but it's just really cool to see how God can use anyone's story and turn it around into something good. Don't know what you guys are going through, but I'm sure a lot of you can relate. You're probably stuck, or maybe you're trying to pursue after all these things, trying to feel fulfilled. But it's not going to work. It's a dead end road, and we just want to encourage you guys. Actually, yeah, what encouragement, what advice would you offer to somebody who is going through a similar process that you have went through?
I would just say, don't give up on the process, because for me, I was carrying like such a heavy mental burden, and it looked like I was doing really, really well, but my mental burden was actually causing me very like a physical burden. And I would just encourage you to not give up, and to ask God, what are like the daily ways that you can start giving whatever you're carrying up to him. And honestly, just pursue God with all your heart, because he's going to get you to that point of complete surrender where you are just completely done. And he's going to give you living water.
Ha! Daisy having a quick beverage. I feel like so many people, when they hear like you're just not doing good across the board, we tend to we want to not really expose or surrender even that to God or talk about it because we don't want to feel like we have a problem. But there's nothing wrong with having a problem because God's the ultimate healer and he wants to heal it, but he can't heal it if you're holding on to it and not sharing it with him. He already knows what you're going through. So what's the point in being like, well, I don't want to talk about it because there's nothing wrong with me. Well,
yeah.
It's okay. There's healing.
We're all going through stuff. We're all carrying things and that need to be given up to God. And again, humbleness.
Yes.
Is a huge thing.
And just have faith in the unknown, guys. That's the ultimate message is be humble, have faith. He uses your testimony. So be glad and rejoice in whatever you're going through because it's going to be used for good. If you are in Christ, but also guys, if you want to follow us on our social media, Instagram, Brittany actually changed her username. Yes. It's Brittany Stewart. It's not MissBeautymark anymore. She still owns MissBeautymark, but that's right there an example in itself of just giving it up. Being like, God, I'm not going to be under this label anymore.
Like, I'm an all or nothing person. And so I'm like, God, just like cut it out and like, let's just move on. And he's like, no, like, I want to use that broken piece of you. So yeah. So now I just want to be Brittany Stewart.
I want you to be that too.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
No, we want to do this more often, guys. I want to use other people's testimonies so that they can encourage you and give you guys some biblical perspective. So if you guys want to follow Brittany, her username's down below right here. And just stay tuned because like we said, baby's on the way. God's doing a whole bunch of new things. So we appreciate you coming and watching this video and just being a part of our lives. We really do love you guys and are excited to grow alongside with you, even though we can't literally talk to you guys. We're growing, you're growing. We're all a big family. Yeah. All right, we'll see you guys later. Goodbye.